Traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. Guys, before we jump into it, I want to enlarge my screen here and I want to let you guys know a little bit of something, right? So, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, I have a huge announcement. And no, this is not clickbait, right? This is not any sort of clickbait. I have a huge announcement and I'm very excited to be sharing this with you guys. So, stay tuned and know that tomorrow we will be live. So right after the live stream, a video will be uploaded to the channel at 11 a.m. Eastern. Okay, for today's recap, let's make sure to grab the EpiPen. I've had someone ask me which software this is. It's called EpiPen. It allows you to write on screen. So let's jump on back down to the small screen. Of course, hit that thumbs up button if you're a new viewer. Consider subscribing. Let's talk about the stocks we traded today. MOB. We're down $35 here. And initially, I was green on realize watching at this one, looking for a tight hold and then curl back up. And I was hoping for the 1 minute candle to then make the new high. That did not happen. It unfortunately rejected the 200 EMA. That's all right. It happens. I should have took my couple of cents off the table and walked away with $47 instead of a $35 loss. Moving on, we had AMAM, which was a pretty incredible stock today. The daily chart really was what was, special about this one. We can see recently we had a couple of candles with volume going back to the 16th and then, the 17th. And we had a nice setup here, the first daily candle making the new high, continuation. And if we go back a little bit further here to, December 9th, we had a high of 454. And so we wanted to clear that level of 454. Today it's going to close right above it. And so I'd expect this stock to maybe continue some more, right? It's looking decent here. And if we zoom out, we'll see that there's no major volume candlestick in sight. Right? If we look over here, there's nothing. So there's a chance that this can maybe get up there to $6, $7, $8. That'd be really lovely to see, and good for low float stocks in terms of sentiment. But when it comes to price action, Relentless, you're down $11. Why didn't you trade this thing, guys? I pulled it up right here in this range as it started to consolidate beneath 454. Now, the issue that I had was that for scalps, we were pretty limited in the range. We'd be at 51 and then let's say 44, 45 on the bids, in that type of spread of like 6, 7 cents. I didn't think it was enough to be scalping the highs. So I said, okay, let's look for a pullback entry. And again, at the time, we just came off of a setup where we had a nice 3-bar play. We held VWAP, and this is pretty good. For those people who were watching it this early and had it on their radar, we had a nice 3-bar play. It breaks out, and, lows, let's see here, lows of 391, high of 419, and it takes off. And so when I came and I saw it at 54, let's say 50 rather, I wasn't sure how to feel about it. So I wanted to see the pullback. Scalping cannot work. Let's wait for a nice pullback and preferably down into VWAP, which at the time was around 420. But what we had instead was a pullback to 36, quick bottoming wick, and it curled back up. This pullback, I was not comfortable with it, and so I ended up missing the trade. And it went, again, going up, the range was small, but it started to pull away. And before you know it, it really opened up nicely and almost got halted up here towards all-time, well, not all-time highs, but, high of day at 545. I came over here, saw it, trying to give a retest, and I thought to myself, maybe it might be worth it. But, timing is everything, guys. And this is a beautiful, beautiful bull flag right here. Picture perfect, picture perfect. And the reason I'm going to miss this bull flag is because of complacency. The stock has pulled back slightly. We got a high of 25. We're currently around 516, 517. And I'm looking at my level 2 up above. I look away and I look back to the charting. So, for the screen up above, which is this screen right here, I go like this, I look up, you can see on the left hand side over here, AM. And then what I did, I wanted to see my 5-minute chart. But we were in the apex point of a potential setup. There was no need to look away at the 5-minute chart. And so I moved my eyes now back to the main screen. You know, it's sometimes it's the small details, right? I move my eyes back to this main screen at the bottom right down here. And so in doing so, in that second, I look back up, we're already pushing, you know, 36, 37, 38, 30. I'm like, man, are you kidding me? If I didn't move my eyes, green started hitting the tape. We go from about 16, 17, 18, 19, like almost instantly. I'd have been long around 22, I want to say. I'd have been in at 22, out around 36, 37, 38. And it would have been a nice trade, you know, about 16 cents. 800 shares. I was using smaller size to try and build a cushion, then to get aggressive if we were to pull away over highs. If this was to break out, I would have then sized up accordingly, but it never happened. That was AM. Just the smallest things sometimes, guys. The smallest details. CMMB, not much here. It did attempt a nice ABCD, but pretty choppy overall. You know, and today was a choppy day. Honorable mention before we get into our last stock was IBIO, which Marcelo and Red to Green in Discord absolutely destroyed. These guys were all over this thing. For me, when I look at it, you know, there wasn't much, but it also still had opportunities. And as we know, there'll always be opportunities. So into the open, you know, bottoming wick from 47, the 1-minute candle makes a new high at 61. It rips up to 78. You know, this stock is cheap. You can take 3,000, 5,000, maybe 6, 7,000, depending on, you know, how aggressive you're getting, 10,000 more. So 1-minute candle makes a new high. And let's zoom out here a little bit. How are we looking in terms of our levels? Okay, so it's curling up, and I had this trend line for potential support back here. It's gonna break over that level, and from there it's off to the races, because pre-market it wasn't much. But anyhow, the 1-minute candle to make the new high for the baby pullback in here is what I was really looking at, right here. 1-minute candle makes a new high from 61 to 78. Is pretty impressive. It's about, you know, 16, it was at 17 cents. 17 cents on this type of stock is really good. Really, really good. And then we pull back. So we pull back here to a low of 63, which is ideal because it's, you know, pulling back into the previous high of day. And then it rips, it pulls back again, 64, and then it rips. And so when I started the day trying a stock like AM, or rather, which stock was that? It might have been CMMB. Yeah. So how I'm trying this type of trade here, you know, sometimes you need to be in the right place. And this is the wrong stock on this particular point in time. You know, if I'm watching this, there's a good chance that I make money up until this area here, and then, you know, we would have needed to avoid this big red candle, of course, because this is pretty solid from 80 to 65. Not good. But yeah, you know, so IBIO continued, pulled back, and a beautiful breakout over here, going from 69 to 90, and then, you know, look at this drop here to 180. So high of day is at 180 here. It breaks up above to 190 and pulls back perfectly into 180. This is a beautiful pullback entry. 1-minute candle then makes a new high for the 3-bar play. And this is exactly what we would love to see. Our patterns and edges working out beautifully. So we got a small 3-bar play in there, and then we continue higher. Nice pullback, and then bounce. So quick bottoming wick, and then, you know, retested the highs. Now it didn't continue, but within that, you know, what that we just looked at, that was, you know, opportunity, could have made a couple $100. So this one we missed. And then now for the last stock of the day, ARBE, and this thing was tricky, guys. This was a tricky stock. It was a choppy day overall, you know. So even if you're red today, don't beat yourself up too much. Let's just study and come again and see what we can improve upon. This one was tricky. In fact, when I got the trade I told myself, man, you need to back off, because this one is not easy. And it's never easy, but sometimes it's particularly difficult. Flush, flush, You know, just look at these red candles in here, and they're all with high volume, high volume, high volume. So, you know, again and again, it's just not stopping. So for every move we had to the upside, there's a huge pullback. Can we make money on false breakouts? The answer is yes, but we prefer to see the stocks go higher. So I'm watching, and I believe the trade. You know what? We can look at the archive here for this one. I'll give you guys a quick look into the archives. I know you guys love the archives. I have to fix my file type. This video is 6 gigabytes, which should not be the case. This is way too much. So let's skip ahead. Hold up. So you get a massive trade in here, and just 1,800 size. So we had this huge sell-off, and we can look at the price action on this. In fact, you know what? This was a technicality. The stock only got to about 660 here, and for some reason it's showing as 90. Can we catch that? I think we can. Look at level 2. Unless I missed it in the live. Yeah, you know, we're only at 50. And it's showing a high of 92. So maybe somebody put out an order up there and it got filled or whatever. But this, I think people who are watching the stock closely are not going to be discouraged by this. Now, if you click on the stock after the fact, you think it had a huge topping wick. But for everybody who's already watching, I've come to realize that when trading, you know, at the end of the day, humans are trading. And if people are watching at this stock as something that has potential, and this essentially didn't take place, then they're going to treat it as such. And so if the stock comes back up, it can still be strong. That's what we saw right here. Immediate red to green, right? Immediate red to green. And we had a high of 69. And as we pull back here, I'm going to take a trade. Let's see here. And I tried to get aggressive on this stock at different moments in time, but never getting very concrete breakouts in the areas that I'm getting long. So I'm long 900 there. Long 900 there. The low of the candle is 50, and we got a high of 76. And you guys will see that I have the 200. You know what? I got to do a better job with my indicators. I want to believe I'm going to add this 200 EMA to all my 1-minute charts, because sometimes it's right in the same area as VWAP, and it's almost as if it's acting as my VWAP at times. So I'm going to add VWAP, the 200 EMA, and also the 9 EMA to all my 1-minute charting. I have to remember to do that before I leave here. And we'll see how well it affects, you know, the support levels. So right here I'm watching, we got 58. I'm going to take 58, and I'm in 1800. Support, I'm watching down at 50. I'm going to put out a limit order 67. It's not going to get filled. I'm aiming for 10 cents on this trade. My stop is at 50, so this is a bit of a 1-to-1. It's not a great trade. But you know what? I'm going to cancel this order, and I'm going to be patient here. And look at how well this is going to pay off. Uh-oh. Skipped ahead a little too quickly. This is going to pay off exceptionally well here. So we're not going to skip. We'll let it play. I'm going to cancel the order. There it is. And we're going to give the stock a chance. In my mind, or I might have even said it out loud. You know, let's give it a chance. Let's give it a chance. Can we get back over 75? In which case, if I hold for 75, I'll have my 2-to-1 in the trade. And it rips up to 88. I sell on the ask at 86 pretty quickly. And it's a great, great trade. It was quick. So we made about 28 cents. I mean, absolutely incredible, but it doesn't continue, it doesn't hold, and this is the issue that this stock had, is that it had some great potential, but it would not hold up its levels. And by the way, I do have I'll probably upload this video. We had AM on the on the other screen eventually, left hand side, which did exceptional. So I had all the price action on this one, although at times it was off screen. But yeah, guys, that was the day. You know, so hit that thumbs up button for a nice green day here, and know that there's more to come. We're gonna step up our game here to end the month. We're coming off of a bit of a drawdown, but it happens. We're gonna step up our game. We're gonna come prepared tomorrow. We're gonna be ready. And yeah, stay tuned for that big announcement that's to come. Right, so we're ending the day 728.14. We never really came back. After we left out, and again we did miss IBIO. All right, guys, stay safe, stay green. Hit that thumbs up button. Check out those links down below. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up. Turn on notifications. I'll be live around 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So come ready and let's have another great day, an excellent day in the markets. All right, guys, it's been RT and I am signing out.